Hey guys, it's Mr. Oda. In this video lesson, we're going to be talking about topic 3.5, population growth and resource availability. This goes hand in hand with our last topic on carrying capacity, because resources are what determine an organism's carrying capacity. For our learning objective, we're going to explain how resource availability affects a population's growth. And we're going to be working with the same skill where we're going to be looking at data and seeing what it says about environmental issues. Now, we've seen this graph in the last lesson, and the reason why a population's size is limited is because of environmental factors that cause resistance. It prevents the population from growing forever exponentially. Now, there are two types of factors that can cause a population to be limited or even decrease. These are density-dependent factors and density-independent factors. To start with, density-dependent factors, they tend to be biotic, and they have a stronger influence when there are more of the organism in the area. So, some examples of this include competition. If there's more organisms in a population, they are going to compete more for the resources that are available. And because of competition, some of them will be able to survive while others will die out. Another example is predators or predation. If there's more of a species there, more of a population, they're more likely to be attacked by predators, which means that they will die out as well. And another one, which is very relevant to today's situation in 2020, is parasitism and disease. Think about the coronavirus and social distancing. The more people there are in an area, the more likely the virus is to spread. Same thing with animals and plants in the environment. If there's more of them in a specific area, disease is more likely to spread, which will kill off more of those organisms. Now, for density independent factors, these are mostly abiotic, and they have an effect on all populations, whether they are large or small. And so what this are things like natural disasters. A volcano eruption and a hurricane are going to kill the same amount of organisms, or the same amount of organisms if the population is larger or smaller, it does not matter. Same thing with regular climate changes like temperature and precipitation. The change in the seasons is going to affect all of the organisms of the population, no matter the size. A very key example of this is in droughts. When there is a limited supply of water, it will affect the entire population. Now, to bring it back to our growth models, when there are unlimited resources, or a population will be able to grow exponentially or in a J shape, to help you remember. If there's limited resources, we will have the logistic growth model, which is more of an S shape. Now, how do some individuals in a population respond to these changes? So on the graph, you're going to see the frog's ability to produce offspring. You're going to see a graph with number of frogs and the number of eggs produced by female frogs. Question 1. Identify the relationship depicted in this graph. What is this graph showing you? And for question 2, what does this trend tell us about the environmental conditions in the frog's habitat? One thing you should have noticed is that as there are more frogs in the environment, the female frogs will actually produce less eggs to compensate. If the frog population gets too large, there will be a lack of resources. Now, to assess to see if you understand carrying capacity and resource availability, the formative assessment questions here will show you if you understand. For question 1, which letter represents the number of individuals that can be supported by this ecosystem long term? For question 2, explain what is happening to population B. And for question 3, look at line A and predict what will happen to that population over time. All right. Hope you guys got that, and I will see you in the next video lesson.